Jaamac is the Deputy Prime Minister of the Federal Government of Somalia. He joins us live now from Kampala. First of all, I just wondered, what advice have you been given about this deal? Is Somaliland even entitled to lease this land to Ethiopia in your books?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to voice our concerns here. To begin with, Somaliland is not entitled to get into international agreements. It's part and parcel of the Somali state, and it comes under the auspices of the federal government of Somalia. So the MOU that was signed between the federal government of Ethiopia and the Somaliland region of the Somali state is null and void to arrive with. It does not have the legitimacy to get into agreement, and it is a very disturbing development where Ethiopia, our neighbor, is attempting to infringe on the sovereignty of the Somali state, the territorial integrity and the inviolability of the Somali state, a principle that is enshrined in international law, the UN Charter, the African Union articles, the Arab League, and all international organizations, international law and customary law. So this is an absolute infringement on Somalia's sovereign rights.
What implications does this agreement have for the Horn of Africa and neighboring countries? And is there anything you can do about it?
Well, sure. This is a serious development. Before the 1st of January this year, Somalia was very busy fixing its economy, fighting off Al-Shabaab, finishing a debt relief process that took us well over a decade, and successfully launching a serious fight against Al-Shabaab, re-establishing its relations in the international realm. And as per the political program of our president and the current government and under the Prime Minister, Somalia's foreign policy is informed by a Somalia that's at peace with itself and with the rest of the world. So this very rather unexpected developments from Ethiopia is something of serious concern for the Somali government and the Somali people. It is, as I stated earlier, a serious wrong in terms of international law and customary law, and I think it will have serious implications for the Horn of Africa. As you know, the Horn of Africa region is a region that has a very troubled history. In the past history, recent history, and the expectation from the people living in the Horn of Africa region, the governments and our international partners, was that this was about time to focus on dealing with the impact of climate change, food insecurity, economic development, economic integration, the well-being of our societies. I mean, it is absolutely astonishing that in this era, one state tries to get into the annexed territory of another country with the claim that they need to have access to the sea. In fact, Ethiopia can access seas or ports all the way from Djibouti to Somalia to Kenya and Eritrea. There's no shortage of accessibility of ports. But this is a very blatant and flagrant infringement on Somalia's sovereignty rights. And it can have a serious effect not only on the Horn of Africa, but the larger Red Sea area. And as you know, this is a very important route for international trade. And there are already so many other live conflicts that are going on, and a lot more latent ones that can be triggered by this very, what we can call irresponsible and erratic behavior from Ethiopian leadership.
And Mr. Jaamac, Somalia has been waging an intensified campaign against Al-Shabaab since last season. Perhaps you could tell us what progress has been made and how this aligns with your broader security and strategy goals and stability in the country as well.
Well, thank you very much. That's a very good question. To begin with, and before 2007, Al-Shabaab did not used to exist in Somalia. In fact, their very genesis and origins can be traced back to the last time when the Ethiopian armed forces got into Somalia. And that is where the Al-Shabaab and radical ideologies got started. But ever since then, especially during this term, the Somali government, in partnership with the regional administrations and the Somali communities, have been waging a very successful war against Al-Shabaab. We have cleared hundreds of kilometers of land, districts, cities from Al-Shabaab. A very serious war, in fact, is spearheaded by our president, where we lost a lot of men and women in this fight. That was a top priority for us. And with collaboration from our international partners, in fact, the success that we have gained has been highly documented and acclaimed within the international arena. We were busy in trying to fix our security, enhance our economy, finalize our constitution, and improve the livelihood of our people. So the fight against Al-Shabaab can be negatively impacted by these very sudden and unexpected MOU that Ethiopia claims to have gotten into with Somaliland. And it can certainly be a source of new recruits for the likes of Al-Shabaab or any other radical groups, either ultranationalist or groups that would like to wage a war on those connotations.
Saalax Jaamac, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are a busy man, especially as that NAM summit takes place. We're grateful to have you on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.